And this is Curin here. It's been a while, obviously, and I am back, at least for a little bit, with this episode here, and maybe for a couple others soon. It depends on how this video goes over. Not that I'm saying I'm not going to do Minecraft, but I'm switching things up. And this is officially the start of a new season. Now, the decision I ended up making, because I wanted to do two different things, but I wasn't sure if I would have time for both, and I also really kind of wanted to keep this world and not trying to keep two series going, because I wanted to do everything with this world since I've already got a nice start and I kind of miss this place. So now, what exactly is going on? What am I talking about? I was planning on. As you guys know, or should know, and why it's nighttime. I need to go sleep. I've also lost all my levels because I moved the server to do some updates and some changes. And this will not actually run on... Oh. And that's actually one of the first things that I'm gonna talk about, that little blue light thing that says home on it. But as most of you know, I've been playing with a couple of mods. If you don't know, I did have a little bit of a thing up about it. This isn't all the mods and some different mods, as I've changed it around to make me happy with it. But so first start off, there's that book there, and then there's this blue light. That blue light has to do with the mini-map, which I had hidden and stuff. The reason I have a mini-map, and at first, for all of those who think that having a mini-map's a bad idea, at first I didn't like the idea either. I ended up, one second, he is loud. I ended up deciding on having a mini-map because a lot of the mods that I am playing with are very, very paper heavy. So there are a lot of paper required, so actually using the in-game maps would be very difficult. Not to mention that they're also very iron heavy, which makes compasses expensive after a while. So I made the decision to keep the mini-map. Now, I'm really quick going to show you. I have cave mode off, so I can't really tell what caves are. In-game waypoints, I leave waypoints on so I can find where my home is, because I get lost easily. I can easily turn it off. Just leave them as beacons, leave them as signs. But if I'm gonna be using this, I might as well use that part of it. I can make it a square map or not a square map. I leave it like this because I like it that way. It's in the top left. It shows coordinates. If you guys think I shouldn't have coordinates, I won't. I have the radar showing hostiles off. It's really the only thing that it's showing is players, and since there are no other players on, it's really irrelevant. But if I ever have players, here's my waypoints. These two actually I need to delete because they were from an old world. And the reason I actually had this waypoint even set was because I was flying around and doing some stuff which deals with this book. Now, if you don't know what this book is, it is known as a Mistcraft book, which links to a Mistcraft age. Mistcraft allows you to make small mini, basically different worlds that you can customize the way that they're supposed to look and everything and all stuff like that. I'm going to show you this world and tell you a little bit about the reason I created this world and some of the things about it. First of all, yes, the grass is a fluorescent green. And the reason for this is I was having problems getting a stable world, and technically even this one's not stable. First of all, we have 2 suns and a moon, but it's not stable. It has lightning and thunder and crazy stuff, and I think the stars are like they are in the end, which is really cool. But trying to get stability, I told the grass to be green, because you can actually color the grass and the leaves. I could get all kinds of different colors and stuff. One of the big reasons this has instability, which I would normally have slowness and hunger, I think was the other one, is first of all, there are 2 suns. Second of all is this thing here. These are crystal formations. I did not specify having these in. They generated on their own due to the way Mistcraft works. Any crystal formations in this world I am not collecting, though they are very, very incredibly useful. I cheated in this world, all the pages that I used for it and all that stuff, mainly so I could have a world that spawned all the new ores and things. And actually, even though I can't actually mine that with the norm, I don't know what you use to mine that. This is some gravel, or I think it's gravel copper, and it can be used to make some cool stuff that we'll be planning on. Also, there are the beehives, which is forestry. The gravel and the berries here are from Tinker's Construct, and you really can't see much else. Oh, the white trees. These are important because this is a mod known as Thumbcraft, which has aura nodes. Aura nodes spawn in these trees. There are a lot of aura nodes because they're around here because there are a lot of these trees. Now, my house has no aura nodes. I tried to regen the area, but it wasn't working properly. If I manage to get it working properly, maybe later, I may not have to worry so much about it, but this is going to basically be the way that I'll have to try right now to get an aura node in my house. Now, besides that, there are a crap ton of other mods here. The essentials of Buildcraft, Industrial Craft. I would have Red Power, but Red Power is not 1.5.2 yet. And real quick, I'm going to take a moment to tell you the reason my texture pack looks a little bit different than it used to is I'm actually using Megadoku, which is the 64 by 64 version. So there was a customizer out for it, and I had it customized the way I want it, but now the customizer website doesn't work anymore. So yeah, I basically can't use my customized version because I'm gonna eventually try and get all the textures that were customized into this. I was trying to fiddle with it earlier, but it wasn't working properly. But it looks nice and pretty. But it also makes everything that is from a mod ungodly obvious. So now, as for everything else, there is absolutely nothing else actually in the world at this moment other than the Mistcraft stuff. This is NEI. This is how I plan on remembering all the recipes that I have, because there are 41 pages of stuff, and I don't remember pretty much any of it. Now, NEI does not work with everything, and certain things it doesn't really work with at all. These are all the stuff for Mistcraft, and I've got Computer Craft. I'll go through this in more detail of what all mods that I have in a moment. We're having a little bit of lags. Little bit of lags. Okay, back to the first page. I could actually spawn in mob spawners too if I really wanted to. But I'm going to do something here and put this in cheat mode and go into creative mode. Now the reason this is, I don't plan on actually using this for anything. I'm just going to show you guys what we have. Thermal Expansion, which is a Buildcraft add-on which allows me to make some stuff that will, some cool machines. Industrial Craft adds a whole bunch of cool machines and some really cool armor and weapons. The Nano Suit, which is down here somewhere. The Nano Suit, its second tier, it's the upper tier of is Quantum Suit, and you can get bronze weapons, just a different replacement for the iron. A mining laser, which is very good at mining, but is also very good at being a long-range weapon. There are all sorts of drills and stuff, and a chainsaw that you can use to replace your tools. It's got batteries, it's got uranium, you can make a nuclear power plant. And where's the Nano Saber? The Nano Saber, which is right here, is a really amazing sword, but it's also really expensive. And there are ways to make your own diamonds, but it takes a lot of coal and some obsidian. So I don't plan on using it very much. There's also, that's a CF backpack, which allows you to make construction foam, which are basically just blocks that you can easily make and easily, I think they're easy to destroy. I don't remember. This is industrial TNT, a little bit larger. This is an actual nuke. Nukes are deadly and destroy massive holes in the world. I don't plan on using very many of them. There's teleporters, Tesla coils, which are a good defense mechanism, all kinds of other stuff. Scaffolding, which is really useful, because I'm really quickly just going to show you what it does. I need at least two. Okay. Actually, I really don't, but you click it down, and then you, oh no, it's not going to work right, because I am in, yeah, because I'm in creative mode. So real quick, it stacks automatically. So yeah, not really much use outside of building. Also, it must have something underneath it. There's reinforced glass, all kinds of fun stuff. Ars Magica. This adds all kinds of spells and stuff. This is its power system because it has its own, well, some of this is power system. Well, it's actually not really the power system, it's what uses the power system. And then some of this is also how you actually are able to cast spells. And here is the plethora of spells. And then this is lore, which is very useful when you make your own spells by combining stuff. Extra biomes, if you don't know what this is, it adds a whole bunch of new biomes, basically. Simple as that. Extra cells, this I will get back to when I get to applied energistics. Basically, it's a way of storage. Factorization. Factorization is an amazing thing that the really only reason I got it was for these barrels. These all have their own different uses, packagers, craft packet stampers and stuff, but really the only thing I cared about was the barrels. Barrels allow you, a normal barrel holds 64 stacks of an item, only one item but 64 stacks of it. And where is the extra dimensional storage barrel upgrade? This allows you to have 1024 of one item, but if the barrel is broken with the items in it, anything more than the original 64 is lost. So Buoyant barrel? Don't know what that does. Other than that, that's pretty much, this has some other things that you can do. Another really nice thing is the Wrath lamps, if I can find where it is. I think I've looked over it like 6 times now, but Wrath lamp, right there. It's a really good light source. Other than that, I don't plan on really using much of this, because it's really hard to get started with and really hard to use. Well, I'm not sure about that, but certain things need this, and this can only be found in dungeons. And I just really don't know it that well. Thaumcraft. Like I said, this is kind of magic-y stuff. Well, I didn't say it was magic-y stuff, but it is magic-y stuff. It's what we will have to do in the other world for right now, because we don't have any of it. Really, you can't know much about it until you get the Thaumonomicon, which you need a bookshelf and a magic wand, which takes you need one of these shard things, not the dull shards. The dull shards you can't use, and a stick and a gold nugget. Not really that hard to get started, but you do need what is known as Vis, and that is generated with the world, but if you don't have it generated in your world, you're kind of screwed. So yeah, magic stuff. Mist peripherals is a whole bunch of stuff for computer craft, which I will talk about in a second, but it's basically helps with getting other mods integrated into it. And there's also a teleportal for something called turtles, which is another computer craft thing, and I'll talk about those in a second. Steve Carts does a whole bunch of stuff for rail carts, which you can do all kinds of fun stuff. You can put drills on your carts, and it can use different types of engines, solar engines, all kinds of stuff. It really is meant for just making really nice like automation via cart systems. They do have some, like, you can make a powered cart that you can sit in and stuff like that, but I really don't plan on using it for that. It's more or less because it can basically make rail tracks for itself. Well, not make them itself, but it can place them down and make a path. And it can also be used for tree harvesting and stuff. Now, this is some more components and stuff for it. And this is the actual blocks that you can use to do some fun stuff with it. It can manage liquids, cargo, and then Omni Tools. Omni Tools has like nothing in it. It has a mystical Pilnith, prototype Omni Wrench, and a Forge Lexicon. Now, each of these 3 things are very important. Now, each mod has its own version of certain ores. They're all compatible, but they don't stack together. So what the Forge Lexicon does is allow you to move things in between each other, and the Omni Wrench is just because every mod also has its own version of a wrench. The Omni Wrench works with everything. Buildcraft. Buildcraft has some nice machines, specifically the quarry, which will take an entire area and take everything in it and put it down to bedrock, take out everything in that entire area. Its base space is 1 chunk. It also has facades, which you can hide stuff behind, all kinds of fun stuff with that. They basically look like normal walling, but they actually are only a little bit thick, and you can put things like tubes, transport tubes, behind them. And these transport tubes are also really important because you can move stuff around easily with them, and you can also move liquids around with them, which is for normal Minecraft only lava and water, but there's also oil and I think a couple other things that are added by different mods. And you can also melt down like redstone and ender eyes, not ender eyes, everyone always calls them that, but that's ender pearls, and you can put them into the waterproof pipe. The conductive piping is how you can move power around, and you make power through engines, which should be up at the top here. a couple of the engines. These are the basic engines. A lot of the mods add more engines. So there's also an auto crafting table, or an auto workbench is what it's called now, and you can do stuff you can use stuff in that. And then this, applied energistics. Cool thing about applied energistics is it's a giant storage system that takes almost no space. You use these things called storage cells, and you can put them in either chests, ME chests, or a disk drive, and it will store items, store massive amounts of items, but only up to 63 types of items. And there's all sorts of things that you can do with this, but it does require Certus quartz and nether quartz. Certus quartz is something that it created, and then the nether quartz is something that has obviously been added in 1.5, which I don't have much nether quartz because it doesn't spawn near my stuff. This also does have something else, which is called the grindstone, which I'll probably get here soon. And the grindstone allows you to turn ore blocks into dust, and you get 2 dust for every ore block, and it only takes 1 dust to make an ingot. And that helps with getting more bang for your buck. Okay, and then the extra cells that is here are just larger versions. Obviously still only 63 types, but you can have more of each of those. Okay, now, biomes aplenty. Another addition for biomes. It has some fun biomes. This is actually, I think, a bit larger than extra biomes. You can get bamboo forests. There's all sorts of stuff. To really look through all of this, you'd have to actually go look on the website. Charge pads. Now, if I remember this correctly, this charges items by standing near or on it. I don't exactly remember charge pads. I got it for a reason and forgot. Now, computer craft. Computer craft adds computers, which you can program and all that fun stuff. It also adds turtles, which are important because you can use turtles to automate things, because they can run around, place blocks, break blocks if they have the right tool, and they can also, with the Miss Peripherals mod, do some extra things. And I think no, you can't see any of the turtles, but you can also use teleporters, which are powered, the turtle teleporters, which are powered by IC2 power, industrial craft, which is also known as IC2. But you can use that kind of power, I think, to power that, and you can teleport back and forth. So there's a lot of things that you can do with these guys. I don't really think there's really a limit. You can even have them crafting stuff for you. You can do everything just with computer craft, but it's a little bit harder and takes a little bit more know-how. Now, this is part of forestry. This is all the bee stuff. Bees can generate stuff for you, and they can do a little bit more if you have like magic bees, which I have, which will allow me to like move nodes and things using these bees. And you can move ore nodes without the bees. It's just a little bit harder and a little bit more expensive. But it can also create flux in the environment. So there's give and take. Bees create stuff though, and they're just kind of a little bit of fun side thing to do if you have the time. Now you can also you can breed bees, which I don't know if I said that. You actually can breed them together to get different types of bees. You can also do the same thing with trees. And you do this by having bees in the area, and trees will be cross-pollinated, and then you use something known as a grafter. And the grafter will let you, it gives a 100% guarantee of a cross-pollinated leaf of dropping a sapling. And if you have a cross-pollinated tree that grows from it, the grafter also has a 100% chance of dropping saplings. Now this is something new. There are a couple of butterflies that you can get. I really don't plan on spending that much time with that. This is the rest of the forestry stuff. This is also what forestry is big into. First of all, a couple new engines that you can use to make buildcraft power, and you have this all, which is to make automated farms, and then it has its own version of certain ores. And then you also get stained glass. Stained glass is really cool because it's like normal glass, except for it is colored, so it looks cooler. Other than that, there's not much else to it. There's Rainmaker, which is really cool because it will actually allow you to either start rain or stop it. So it's really expensive as far as I remember. And there are other blocks here. Trade Station, which is good for trading stuff on a server. Mailbox, again, a server thing, and a stamp collector, another server thing. Work Table, I don't know exactly what that does. I think it's fairly new, or maybe I just never used it. Thermionic Fabricator makes certain items that you need to use that for. A couple other interesting things. MFFS. Now, the cool thing about this is its force fields. You can use this to make an area that is completely controlled, and you can kill mobs within it using Defense Station and other things. You can do a whole bunch of stuff with this. And I'm not really going to get into this. This is kind of later game kind of stuff right now. Natura. Natura adds a whole bunch of like trees and stuff. It's not specifically biomes, but trees, and it adds the berries. I said they were actually from Tinker's Construct earlier. Sorry about that. They are from Natura, and there's a couple other things that are added, just world gen sort of stuff. And then I'm going to skip Railcraft and come back to that, but we're going to talk about Tinker's Construct allows you to make some really interesting tools. They're the normal tools like you would think, but you can make them out of any material and a lot cheaper. And here's just some basic looking ones. These ones aren't. You can mix and match handles and all sorts of stuff to find the best type of items that you want. And the top tier is Manelium, which is really, really hard to get. You have to first get Alumite pickaxe to get a specific type of ore that you can only get with that type of pickaxe. Or I did find a bug. If you use another mod, you can actually get some of it. And this is some of the other stuff that you can get. Diamond bricks, which are quite expensive apparently, and all sorts of stuff. These are the two ore you need for Manelium, and there's all sorts of other ores. There's brownstone brick, which is basically a good thing to use for pass because you run faster on it. And this, I think, is the best version of it, and you run really fast on it. So you can. It also obviously has a whole bunch of brick. This is some of its. And my brain's not functioning right now. This is some of basically the work tables and benches and stuff that you use to make things in Tinker's Construct. Now Railcraft. Railcraft basically changes how rails work, and it obviously adds a whole bunch of little other things to it too. But you get rails are now really, really expensive. Best way to get rails is actually to go find them in mine shafts right now. But you get a whole bunch of new rails. Junction tracks, which allow two tracks to converge on each other and go in the correct direction. You've got switch tracks, different types of junction tracks, making them out of wood. Suspended tracks, which don't have to have blocks underneath them. Disposal tracks, which will drop things out from under them. They are also considered a type of suspended track. They don't need a block underneath them either. And that's a lot of what's in Railtrack. There's switch levers and all kinds of stuff. It allows a lot of really cool things, though. Now, there's also some cool stuff to be able to put stuff in carts and things. Now, these things right here are part of a mod called Dimensional Doors, which allow you to make specific doors using ender pearls and normal doors. and they take you to a pocket dimension, which, as far as I know, no mobs spawn in. I've never seen a mob spawn in a pocket dimension. And it's completely empty. You can build as much as you want. Mind you, the ground level is always the level you started on, where you place the door. So if you place it at land 70 or 80, that means you only have 80 and up. If you try to dig down, I have found that sometimes, I'm not sure if this is always, there's nothing under the layer that you have. But you also don't have to break things to place on the ground level. If you right click on a piece of ground, it automatically takes the block out of your hand and puts it in that space of ground. I also have the portal gun mod, which, if you don't know what a portal gun is, I have a video about Portal, so go see that. Now, I also have Twilight Forest, which is another zone kind of like the Nether and the End. More so like the Nether. It has a whole bunch of boss mobs and all kinds of cool things on it. And obviously a whole bunch of new creatures. And there's Hydras, Nagas, Lich, the Urghast, all kinds of stuff. And new types of food and stuff. I'm not really wanting to be too in-depth about this because I want to do some stuff with it. They do also, though, have an uncrafting table which you spend experience to uncraft something. Bibliocraft. Really, this is just cool places to set stuff. It's very aesthetics, and I don't know what this book is for. It's bothering me. Very much so. So if you know, please leave a comment. Magic bees, like I said, I have magic bees installed, which is just some more stuff for bees. Now, MMM power suits. This is Machine Muse's modular power suits, and this is the mod where you can actually break some of the Tinker Construct's ores, which you aren't supposed to break, if you have the power fist with the pickaxe add-on. Now, this armor, though, is a little expensive. It's not very expensive, but it is actually pretty much useless on its own. It does not do anything at all. The armor itself is useless. Even if you give it power, which you first have to put in a battery, it's still useless. You have to add things onto it, which is, you could add advanced plating, force field emitters, and all kinds of stuff that give you armor, and then you can use solar panels to do different types of generation. You can also get weapons on your glove, and you can do all kinds of stuff. You can get a jetpack. There are other ways to get jetpacks. Industrial Craft has its jetpacks that you could also use. But there's all kinds of stuff that you can do with this. Now, the portal gun mod, I can get the sentry turrets. Oracle turrets are random. If you get those, defective turret is if you put a normal turret into a furnace. You can get a weighted storage cube, furnace it to get a companion cube. You can get the vents. This is not actually working yet, so material emancipation grid doesn't work yet. Portal spawners, which will automatically make its portal. And then miniature black hole. Ender pearl dust, though it does exist, its only use is to make the miniature black hole. I could have it set so I would need it to actually use the portal gun, but that's really difficult if you don't have a good supply of ender pearls, and I also need ender pearls for other things. And this is some more bee stuff, and then this is Mistcraft, which I've already talked about a little bit. That's pretty much all the mods, I think. It's really hard to say because some of them don't have their stuff. This is just nothing new, I don't think. This is some extra biome stuff. Obviously some enchanted books. Oh, that is something that I haven't talked about, even though that is not actually part of that mod. But I haven't talked about soul shards, which I think are in here. Yes, they are. Soul shards basically allow you to make mob spawners. And they're really hard to make. You actually have to get to the end to be able to make a soul shard. You only need a little bit of end stone, but you do need some. and then you can make an end stone. It costs 1 diamond, some netherrack, and some glowstone, and it actually produces more end stone than you started with, so it's not that big a deal. But that's really cool to have, so you can make your own mob grinders and stuff. There's also a whole bunch of new foods that I've got. That's not a very good food for you. I do have Mo Creatures, but I don't have it installed on the server right now, for the reason of I don't want to use it. And the reason is it really makes it hard to get normal mobs. Also, I completely forgot, and I still have these barrels. I can't use these barrels because they're not on the server. This is another barrel mod that I don't like as much. So I got rid of it, but apparently it's still somewhere, and I can't get rid of it correctly. But these chests, an iron chest is as big as a normal double wide chest. Gold chest is even bigger. Diamond chest I think is twice as big as a double wide. Crystal chest is the same as a diamond chest except for it's see-through. Obsidian chest I think is even bigger. I think that's how it works. Or it's just like impossible to break. I'm not really remembering very well. And then there's the normal vanilla stuff. Yep, I think that pretty much is just about it. Now, I may eventually bring back Mo Creatures and stuff and a whole bunch of this stuff. And I don't remember how long I've been going for, but I want to at least do something this episode, this being our first episode, and I'm sorry it took so long to actually get around. I just really kind of felt like it would be horrible of me not to. And first things first, I'm getting rid of all this. Oh yeah, I'm still in creative mode. Derp. I almost lost a whole bunch of snow. Though the snow was fun for the holiday season, it's obviously not the holiday season anymore. It's summer. So I'm going to get most of this out of my house and try and get rid of most of it in general. I kind of cleaned out the upstairs earlier. So yeah, and then the next thing is I need to really deal with my farm. Not my animal farm. My animal farm's fine. I'm talking about the atrocity that is my normal farm. And I'm going to get rid of it. Permanently. Also, I do have obsidian pressure plates, which allow it so I can make pressure plates that only I can stand on. Only players are detected. And I will use that very soon, because I hate having to deal with buttons. I think obsidian pressure plates should be made part of the game. Okay, Lagosaurus. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm wanting to handle this series yet. And I also want to know if you guys like this idea of the mods. If you do not like the mods, I do have this world saved without them. Without the generation and stuff. And really all it would take is destroying that book, since there's nothing in this world yet. I'm gonna probably not do more than just this video right now. And I'm just gonna break the rest of this because I've got enough snow to last me a long time. But so if you guys don't like me using these mods, say something and I'll get rid of them if you guys don't want them. But I think it will add a little bit more fun, and I really do like using the mods. I think they're lots of fun to play with, and there are monsters nearby. Okay, I'm trying to find a spot where I can hit this and it's... Yeah, I'm gonna go kill it. Okay, so yeah, basically I want to be back more permanently this time. Okay, and I'm gonna eat this cooked pork chop because I don't have full health, and that doesn't make me happy. Ooh, some lagtastica. Oh, and I also have 3 dogs about somewhere. I don't know exactly where they are. Did you give me any armor? No. Okay, and I will show you the dogs. I actually caught them just a little bit ago. It was before I updated the server to add all the mods in. I just had... Actually, no, it might have been after I added the mods in. But I have a whole bunch of dogs spawn. And I don't know why. But where did I keep them? Ah, there they are. 3 dogs. I used the bones that I had on me from the last time I was playing. So, yeah. I'm going to go sleep, and then we are going to dismantle the farm, I think. Okay, I'll be right back after I sleep. Okay? Okay. Okay, so unfortunately, I did look at the time, and I guess I will put out a new episode really soon, cause this has gone on really long. But my plan is, as soon as possible, to get rid of that old atrocious looking farm. And I will probably do that as soon as possible, and I may even have it out same day today, or maybe tomorrow if I may record it still today and just post it as soon as I can. But it's like already been 40 minutes of me explaining everything that's going on, but I really think this place really could use some improving a little bit, but that place I don't think you can improve. I think this is just an atrocious monster. That is my clinical definition. Clinical opinion. And we're gonna do something real quick though. Start this off. Oh, lagtastica. Oh no. Lagosaurus Rex. Okay, we're gonna go real quick into options, into video settings. Okay. Fast. Doesn't really help. So we're gonna go down here and got some. Now, unfortunately, that means I'm gonna get rid of all this. But so welcome to season 2. That is what I've officially decided, is this is season 2. And season 1, though kind of an odd number of episodes to have for one season, is over. Because I think with the mods and everything, it's a good time to break for a new season. So, it's nice to see you guys all. I'm probably breaking stuff. And that was my dog deciding to bounce up and bark at stuff because people are here. I don't know why people are here, but hopefully people will not bother me. But I will see you guys next time, and we will redo this farm because this farm is atrocious. So, bye. Look at you guys. Okay, back up. See you guys next time.